And here's another classic example of what can happen when Jamaicans abroad join hands with Jamaicans at home. There's a 23-minute documentary entitled Towards a More Inclusive Jamaica, and it has been already recognized and is picking up traction, recognized by a couple of international film festivals, including the Paris Liftoff Film Festival, and we're anxious to learn more as far as this initiative is concerned. And we have two ideal people to tell us all about it. We want to first of all say hello and welcome to the producer of the documentary. She is a social activist, Marion Myrie. Good afternoon. How are you?
Good afternoon. I am very well, thank you. How are you, Dervan?
I am fine, thanks. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Pleasure. And let's say hello as well to businesswoman, mental health professional with Solutions for You, based in New Jersey, Mrs. Lorraine, Ms., or is it Ms.? I don't want to assume. Ms. Lorraine Smith, how are you?
I am fine, thank you, Dervan. Thank you for having me as well.
It's a pleasure. Pleasure to have you on board. Now, I have watched the, it's a most moving, it tugs at the heartstrings, the documentary, which looks at how we respond to, how we treat, how we interact with persons who are otherwise enabled. As I like to say, I borrowed that from somebody some time ago. Put another way, persons with disabilities. And it really is quite moving. I can well understand the attention that it is getting. But let's go to the beginning, Marion, Marion Myrie. What prompted this production on your part? What sparked it?
Okay, so it began as I was doing research for in fulfillment of a master's degree in communication for social and behavior change. As I was gathering the data and interacting with persons from the disability community, I realized that the parameters of the research was insufficient to address many of the stories that were coming through. And even after I was finished, I felt like I would not have done justice to the community by just doing this research and then just letting it go to File 13. And it was then I was, on the encouragement of my supervisor, Dr. Anthea Henderson, that I came up with the idea to do a documentary focusing on the issues that were coming up during the research.
And Lorraine Smith, how did you get involved in this project?
So I think because of Marion's desire to further do this documentary, she had reached out to Ms. Claudette Powell to fulfill the desire. And Ms. Claudette Powell, of course, of the Jamaica diaspora, connected Marion to me, and Marion and I began to have this conversation to put the documentary together. Myself and Andrew Sharp from the Jamaica diaspora from Boston, from the Boston area, supported Marion in completing. We are both sponsors on this documentary. I myself, I'm one of the co-chairs of the health sector. I cover the mental health issues, of course, of the Northeast. We know Dr. Karen Dunkley is the representative for the Jamaica diaspora, and so we came together. It's a collaborative effort for Andrew Sharp and myself to be one of the two sponsors of this documentary. And so it has now been completed, and so it's here. And so we are supporting, we have become supporters of this documentary.
Marion, Myrie, did you imagine that this project, which was a part of your professional development, that it would get to the stage where the word is out and a couple of international film festivals, including the Paris Liftoff Film Festival, taking note? Did you imagine that this is where you would be, having done the work?
Absolutely not. I did not imagine it. I was hoping that it would get a lot of traction in the diaspora and here at home, but the film festival, it really came afterwards, and I'm happy that they have recognized it and it's giving it, the added attention, the issues, the added attention that they need.
Yes. So now, why did you say yes to supporting this effort as far as the funding, the financing is concerned, Lorraine Smith? What was it about this documentary towards a more inclusive Jamaica that really said to you, you must be involved in this initiative?
Okay, so I can say, as a Jamaican, growing up, I'm going to first give the honor to my mother. My mother is someone who acquired a disability from a spinal cord disorder, and so it eventually took her life in her 70s. And so my companies that I eventually started, Solutions for You, as you can see the name.
Yes.
I do have two companies in New Jersey that provide support to individuals with all types of disabilities, and individuals are such who have cognitive disabilities and mental health issues. I am also a mental health professional, and so I grew up seeing my mother providing support to individuals in our community in Winter spent Spanish Town, and so even before she knew she had a disability. And so when it came to my mother being sick, basically, I guess the support she gave to others came back to her, where I supported her until the end of her life. And thus, therefore, when I became the person to start my business, I named it that, Solutions for You.
Wow.
I now give back that support to individuals in New Jersey and also in Georgia. And so when Marion came to me, I saw the passion in Marion. And so for me to be able to give back to Jamaica, this is it. I'm a Jamaican giving back to Jamaica. And so it is also an opportunity to be able to honor my mother as well, to give back to individuals with disabilities, with all types of disabilities. So here I am honoring my mother in such a profound way,
Yes.
and to be able to support Marion as someone who has this passion. So Marion and I are connected in our passion of supporting individuals. And here I am as a Jamaican coming back to Jamaica and saying, I am supporting. I'm a part of the diaspora supporting Jamaica. And of course, we never had the idea that we would have been globally representing Jamaica. So I say my mother is shining down on us and smiling down on us and saying, here we go together as two women who are honoring our country and honoring those who are, as you said, it's not the disability that is in those that are different, but it is the abilities that we need to see.
Yes.
Because sometimes those individuals, as we see in this documentary, this young woman was dishonored because she's seen as someone different.
Yes.
I am now also the grandmother of a 3-year-old granddaughter who has a disability as well. So my mother's legacy is living on, And I want to be proud to say I am someone who supports individuals with all types of disability. So this is why I had to sponsor this documentary.
This is so profound. Your purpose is quite clear. There's no doubt about that. And you are...
Absolutely.
Yes, no doubt about that. Hold it there. We need to take a break. After the break, we're going to ask Marion Myrie to give us the details of the documentary, and of course the next step in terms of the attention that the documentary is already receiving from a couple of international film festivals. One moment, please.
Try and try. You'll succeed at.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:45.
Living in the positive.
Tune in every Thursday at 11:30 a.m. to midday for your Legal Corner with Dahlia Walker Huntington during Power Talk on Power 106 FM. You can call our numbers 876-922-4112-5. The text and WhatsApp line is 876-279-8598. You can also send an email at yourlegalcorner106@gmail.com. Join Your Legal Corner for all matters in relation to immigration to the United States. Here Dahlia offer great legal advice on your immigration queries and concerns. Learn about the filing process, when to file, and how to prepare for the move. That's Your Legal Corner, 11:30 to midday, every Thursday right here on Power 106 FM.
The following is a notice to shareholders of Radio Jamaica Limited. Shareholders of Radio Jamaica are advised that the hosting of its annual general meeting will be held on Wednesday, October 20 at 10 a.m. in Kingston. However, given the recent gathering limits imposed on AGMs, the meeting will be held without the physical attendance of shareholders. Further, attendance will be virtual for only those who register to use links being published in the Gleaner and Star or received from calling the company. For a few shareholders who may not be able to join virtually from home, arrangements are being made for 15 shareholders chosen on a first-come, first-served basis to attend virtually within the gathering limits and appropriately distanced at the offices of Radio Jamaica Limited at 32 Lyndhurst Road and 15 at the Gleaner at 7 North Street. Additional rules or access will be communicated directly to those registered shareholders. For information on registering to attend virtually, attend as one of the persons at Lyndhurst Road or North Street, or on how to collect a printed copy of this year's annual report, shareholders must call 876-932-6207 or 876-733-2610 or any of the additional numbers printed in the Gleaner and the Star. Calls should be between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. from Monday, October 11 to Friday, October 15.
Que hora es en espagnol? Son las 5 menos 12. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 5h moins 12. 现在几点了？5点12分。12 minutes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Good afternoon to all working Jamaicans tuned in to both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. It's a good time for us to ask ourselves, how productive have we been today? How productive have we been today? We can tell you that our guests have been very, very productive. This is the story, on both sides of the story, of a Jamaican documentary which has been selected for the Paris Liftoff Film Festival. But more than that, the substance of that documentary. The substance of the documentary. It's a documentary which turns the spotlight on the otherwise enabled community of Jamaicans, referred to as persons with disabilities. This was done by Marion Myrie, a young Jamaican social activist and filmmaker. And the Paris Liftoff Film Festival is not the only film festival that has an interest. There's also the Liftoff sessions at Pinewood Studios in the United Kingdom. And both the Liftoff sessions at Pinewood Studios in the United Kingdom and the Paris Liftoff Film Festival help new filmmakers to get a foot in the door of the industry. The documentary that we're featuring this afternoon is Towards a More Inclusive Jamaica. That's the title, Towards a More Inclusive Jamaica. It's a 23-minute documentary that tells the story of the everyday challenges of people with disabilities in Jamaica. And we can't salute and thank enough Marion Myrie, who has a master's in communication for social and behavior change from the UWI, that she would make that conscious decision to produce the documentary after noticing the plight of the other members of the otherwise enabled community, the community of persons with disabilities in Jamaica, and the need for greater advocacy. So we really, really want to thank Marion Myrie for her vision, and also Lorraine Smith for buying into that vision. She's the CEO of Solutions for You, with the letter U. Solutions for You, a New Jersey-based company which provides support services to individuals with disabilities. And of course, as mentioned by Lorraine earlier on, Andrew Sharp, chairman, we know him well, we've interviewed him a few times, chairman of Authentic Caribbean Foundation based in Boston, Massachusetts. This is what we talk about when we say we're all about celebrating and promoting and interrogating that which can happen when Jamaicans abroad join hands with Jamaicans at home. Now, Marion Myrie, please, in as concise a manner as you can, without giving away too much, because we want people to watch as well, to go online and to watch. Tell us, please, about your documentary, Towards a More Inclusive Jamaica.
Okay, well, Towards a More Inclusive Jamaica looks at the experiences of members of the disability community in Jamaica as they share their experiences in what can often be a hostile environment. It looks at the shortcomings in our built environment, as well as the attitudinal environment and the legal environment, which hinder full participation of persons with disabilities in Jamaica. In terms of my expected outcome, what I wanted to come out of this is for us to look more at creating a society and a country that fosters greater inclusion of persons with disabilities, and to even look at some of the things surrounding, the built environment, if it's accessible, if, can a wheelchair user use this one? But I don't want to go too deep into some of the things that were inspiring the creation of this documentary, because I do want it to go further. Yes. And so in terms of learning about that, what I can say is stay tuned.
And so how can those listening to us at home and abroad, how or when are they able to see for themselves this 23-minute documentary, Towards a More Inclusive Jamaica?
Well, in the distribution phase, I had shopped it around to the different networks here locally. NCU TV is broadcasting it, as well as UETV.
Excellent.
And if you have a good internet connection, you can go on to YouTube at Towards a More Inclusive Jamaica.
All right, say that again. So that on YouTube at
Towards a More Inclusive Jamaica.
Right. And what are you hoping, and we'll come back to the interest that is being shown by these film festivals as well. But I think you have said as much, but just for emphasis, how do you ensure that this doesn't end up in a situation where people applaud and they congratulate you, and we don't hear anything else after that? How do you guard against? How do you guard against that that malaise from setting in?
Well, part of our approach, and which is why I think Lorraine agreed to be a part of this, is that towards a more inclusive Jamaica is not supposed to be something that is a 9-day wonder, it comes and it goes. It's supposed to be a movement, and we will be campaigning on these issues until we see what we are campaigning for actually come to fruition.
Yes. And Lorraine Smith, yourself, and Andrew Sharp are very committed to this initiative, this project, this documentary. How far ahead are you looking? What are you seeing, having experienced this documentary, and with the interest from the film festivals? What is the future looking like?
Well, more episodes,
Mm-hmm.
More coverage on the mainstream channels as well, and just more traction, and for the disability community.
Yes, I'm sorry. I think was that Marion you wanted to say, or
Yeah,
sorry. Go ahead.
I wanted to Dervan, that we are hoping that the individuals with disability in Jamaica will have an opportunity to be able to have their rights. We are hoping that in media we will see a change in how they are regarded. The language, we are hoping that there's a change in the language. For example, the person-centered language, it needs to be changed in how we address individuals with disabilities. So, for example, we know at times we will say that the person is bound to the wheelchair. A person is not bound to a wheelchair. A person uses a wheelchair. So that's one of the things that I will be pushing for. I know Marion and I, we will be working on things of an educational mindset in regards to how we positive regards towards individuals, all individuals with disabilities. And one of the things, we do have a series that is coming out towards individuals with mental health. We do know that there's a big stigma towards individuals with mental illness. Mm-hmm. And so there's a series that will coming out towards that. So we want to change the language in how we address individuals. We want to see the Disabilities Act be passed into law, and so that individuals are able to kind of have their own rights, that when things go wrong, they can actually advocate for themselves. And we know that that's something that needs to be continued pushed even globally, not just in Jamaica.
Right.
And so I'm considered an advocate here in the U.S.
I see.
I continue to advocate here, and so I am committed to advocate and assist and support towards a more inclusive Jamaica, to be able to support our Jamaicans there at home.
Well said, well put. And so, Marion, so when is the first of the two film festivals?
Well, one is like the Paris Liftoff Film Festival has already started. It started on Monday. The Liftoff session starts October 18.
Mm-hmm. And is there room for participation from members of the public? For example, I know these days people do online voting.
Mm-hmm. Yes, there is room. So it's taking place on Vimeo on demand. The instructions, if you follow along Inclusive Jamaica on Instagram, you will see the instructions are there. To participate, you purchase a $12 seasons pass, which will allow you to not only view my documentary, but all the other documentaries that have been included in the festival. And it also affords you the right to participate in the festival by voting for your two favorite films.
Well, we are going to be spreading the word even more, and we want to wish you all the very best on this initiative and the significant roles that you both play, and others like Mr. Sharp and so on. But we're out of time for now, ladies. Thank you so much. Well done. We're looking forward to speaking with you again in the very near future.
Thank you for having us.
Okay, thank you for having us.
It's been a pleasure. All the very best. Take care. Listeners, thank you so much for indulging as we made way for Marion, Myrie, and Lorraine Smith. Marion, Myrie, the producer of the documentary we have been talking about, and Lorraine Smith, Jamaican-born businesswoman and CEO of New Jersey-based Solutions for You, supporters in terms of financial sponsorship for this project. Let's wrap.
Diaspora Check-In during both sides of the story was brought to you by GK Western Union. Receive money directly into your bank account today.
We're out of time. Thanks, everybody. Take care.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
5 o'clock.
News, comprehensive, powerful, and credible.
Power 106 FM now presents a simulcast of Radio Jamaica's News at 5.
Good afternoon, I am Dervan Gordon. Coming up in the news segment of Beyond the Headlines, today, Wednesday, October 13, 2021. Acting Permanent Secretary in the Education Ministry, Dr. Grace McLean,